Well, we got rain in Arizona. Came out here to try to do a little hunting this morning. Kind of got disappointed yesterday. We drove 40 minutes or so to get up to a spot and another 30 minutes to get back in there on a gravel road. And because we haven't had rain in, well, probably close to 4 months, they have most of the backcountry and the wooded areas and chaparral and stuff like that. The lower 4,000 foot mountain areas are all shut down to any public use. If you don't live back there or have a permit or law officer, you can't go back in. So we turned around and came back down the hill yesterday. Went and tried a little bit at Rich Hill on the way home and didn't have much time, and it was kind of hot by then, and we were hoping to have been able to hunt up in the high country where it's cooler. Got a private claim, pretty nice place, so we'll do that for another day. Today I got up and headed out here, and it was drizzling a little bit moist, but it looked like it was going to clear up. Now we've got a pretty good rain coming down. Desert sure needs it, but it's kind of messing up my chance at getting a nugget today. So we're going to sit here for a little while and hope it quits raining. Hopefully I'll get a little bit of time in this morning. Otherwise, another drive into the desert and just go on back home. But that's okay. This is a nice little spot. We're out at San Domingo again, actually sitting here. And found quite a few little nuggets in this little area right here. I was going to come up and maybe use the gold monster today. I guess I could fire up the Equinox and go out there, but I really don't want to go out there and get all wet. So here I sit. And hopefully it'll quit raining here in a minute. It's actually quite a nice rain we're having. You know, and I get out to these plaza areas a lot of times, and you run into people or club members and stuff like that, think these areas are all hunted out. I kind of chuckle to myself. I've been hunting, well, this area in particular, I've been hunting out here probably, over 25, 27, 28 years I've been coming in and out of here. This is one of the very first areas that I found through a little bit of research after I joined a Roadrunner club out of Phoenix. And after I joined that club, this is one of the first areas I came to, San Domingo. Way different back then. We have a lot of roads out here now. There's access everywhere. Back then, there wasn't roads or much access back here. You came out here, you thought you were in the middle of nowhere. And you essentially were. Back where I live in Morristown, just down the road toward Sun City and stuff, was all cotton fields and not much else out there. There just weren't that many people here yet. And it's amazing now. There's dirt bike trails and quad trails, and it's tore up, and people camping everywhere, shooting. Yeah, kind of sad to see in a way. But I guess it's progress. But this area here, you know, going back to people saying areas are hunted out, just the area, the common areas, the most popular areas have been hit really hard now. But you can still go in there and squeak out a nugget or run a dry washer and get a little gold out here. Most of the club claims still have gold on them. But like I discussed in some of my research stuff, I fringe hunt out here. I get into the areas, yeah, there may have been a little dry washing done years ago, but it's just not attractive enough to the new world prospector, the new guys with all the cool new machinery to come out here and actually work it. And I think you can probably hear in the background, it's starting to rain pretty good again here. I don't know how long I'm going to be willing to sit here and just wait. But by getting into the fringe areas, you can get into spots that weren't rich enough for the old timers, or for the new timers for that matter, to run dry washers or other equipment. But there's still all nuggets laying on the hillsides. Out here, there's a layer of metamorphic material with red soil in some cases. Some cases it's not so red. But it's laying right on top of a lot of the volcanic stuff out here. And that's what has the gold in it for the most part. So when you're driving around out at San Domingo, you're looking for pieces of quartz, schist, gneiss, ironstone, greenstone, which is metamorphosized rock, and indications that you're in an area that had some of this gold-bearing material in it. And it's kind of funny out here. Back in the old days, we'd find out on the flats. So we got some big flats out here. They're dissected pediment. Some of the lower mountain areas, and then there's just the flats out here in the San Domingo down the lower end of it. We would find like 1 or 2 nugget patches. And generally when you find a nugget patch, you get into a pretty good patch of nuggets. And you have a lot of fun, get 5, 6, 10 nuggets. Out here it wasn't that way. You'd find these 1 little nugget, 2 little nuggets in a spot. No explanation for it. And after several years of actually hunting and studying, one day I decided to get up on a side of a hill, and I was looking around with binoculars because I had noticed that where we found those little 1 and 2 nugget patches, there'd be a little round area of decomposed quartz, rusty quartz. And figured out after a while that what had happened was the gold had rolled along with erosion, been pushed, moved by water, however it got down here over thousands or millions of years onto these flats as a solid piece of quartz with gold in it, free gold. Then it decomposed out on these flats and dropped us a load of gold, whether it was 1 nugget, 2 nuggets, or a huge nugget. There's been some mighty big ones found out here on these flats. And after that, I started actively hunting these little patches of white quartz. I'd look for them with binoculars up on a low hill and look around, and I'd go out there and hunt them. And I was pretty successful that way. It worked out pretty good. And I also found a meteorite out here. A meteorite. It's called Trilby Wash. It can be easily looked up online. I still have a couple pieces left. The main mass was 400 and some grams. And I was out gold hunting with my friend Jim Boxberger. Jimmy's the one that found the 2.27 pound nugget out here. It was a specimen, but it had over 1.5 pounds of gold in it. And he took me out to a little spot he had been working one afternoon. And it was a rainy day like this. And the rain stopped for a little bit, so I walked across the hill over to a little wash that was close to the truck so I could run if it started raining so I wouldn't get all wet. And I get this booming target. And I looked down, and there's a rock laying there, and I just learned about meteorites and actually started actively hunting them in places like Franconia and Gold Basin. And I looked down, and here's this rock that looked like a big chunk of meteorite. I picked it up, and I didn't know much about them then, but I was pretty sure what I had in my hand, it was a meteorite. So we took it home and had it classified, and I got my name on it. So when I'm gone off this earth, I'm going to leave more in a grease spot. I got a meteorite I found that's in museums in Arizona here and other places. And I ended up selling most of that to collectors. A funny story about meteorites, since we're still stuck here in the rain, is Gold Basin. It's in northwestern Arizona. Really good place to hunt for gold nuggets. Always has been. That's another one people will tell you it's getting cleaned out. That's not true. There's still a lot of gold there. The material's deep. There's always new stuff being found. For those that are willing to work for it, you'll find it. But back in the old days, in the 90s, there was these horrible hot rocks everywhere. Everywhere. Down in the lower end. And we'd put them in bushes. We'd throw them. We'd put them in piles. And for years, I'd already been telling people, identify all the rocks you find. Don't leave anything on the ground if you can't identify it. Take it home and ID it. And here I was, along with everybody else, just throwing these hot rocks away. Well, it wasn't long after that when some meteorite hunters got wind of that out there, and they went out there, and it turned out to be a meteorite. It's called the Gold Basin meteorite. And I thought back on that, And the guys hunting it said they found a lot of places where they'd find a lot of those meteorites in the bushes and stuff. And I thought back on that, and I just said, oh, geez. And I ended up getting a bunch of those over the years, too. They're getting a little harder to find, but they're still out there. Oh, boy. We're still sitting here waiting for the rain to stop. And I don't know if it's gonna. We might have to bail. We might just have to bail out. It was looking like it was clearing up off to the east, but I don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon. I'll give it a few more minutes here, folks, and well, I don't see any sign of this quitting. Just a beautiful rainy day in Arizona. Not so beautiful for metal detecting. Another thing to note, when it rains like this and the ground's real dry here in the desert, the top layer gets soaked real good, and you go out there with a metal detector and they're just noisy as heck because the top layer of the ground's wet and the lower layer isn't. And that can be frustrating too. I was curious to see whether the gold monster would do that, but I don't think we're going to get enough of a break to do it, and I don't feel like getting all wet. A few more minutes and I'm going to give up. Well, that's it for now. I'm going to give it up. Head back to the ranch. Maybe it'll quit raining later, or maybe it'll come out tomorrow morning. I'm sure it will tomorrow morning. It's supposed to be sunny tomorrow. Probably going to be a little bit humid here in the desert, but you get out early, it'll be nice. It'll be beautiful. Probably be some critters out. Maybe get a couple shots of some critters. And wish we could have done a little hunting today, and I could have shown you around and shown you some more of the features that I look for right around here. But it just wasn't meant to be. So, it's Nugget Shooter out for now. See you next time.